James Ernest of the Grueling Truth Radio Network here with Eddie Robinson, professional bodybuilder. Eddie, tell us how you got started.
How did I get started? Well, you got all day with this one. I tell you, that's the doozy of the question. How did I get started in bodybuilding? Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, I didn't really end up going into bodybuilding or what I wanted to do. I ended up being a powerlifter in the beginning. And, like I say, starting off in high school playing football and all the sports and stuff, I was naturally strong. Ended up doing a serious heavy bench in high school. I was a teenager benching close to 500 pounds.
Oh, wow.
That's when I went into powerlifting, took a teenage world record at 5'10", the 220 class, and that's when Weider had contacted me and said, hey, you need to put the Speedo on, because there's no money in powerlifting. So that's when he talked the money. That's when I started thinking, well, there's an opportunity here. I had the turkey from the powerlifting, and let's go ahead and carve it, and become a bodybuilder. So, I started training hubby, and like I say, kept up my powerlifting, and started dieting down. Went to the teenage U.S. Florida, won the teenage Florida, won the teenage USA. Started doing good in bodybuilding. Still powerlifting, and I've taken another world record in the 220 class. The lift was 6'10". I went all the way up to 575. I mean 675, and bombed out. But my official lift was 6'10". So I took another world record in the bench. So basically, I started off in powerlifting. That was my passion, to be one of the world's strongest. And then, of course, the channel into the bodybuilding. And how I got into bodybuilding was just basically a phone call from Joe Weider. And to get on the Weider supplements, Weider products, and endorse and promote Weider nutrition. And then later on into the publications. So that's how I pretty much got started into it.
Nice. So, like you were saying, you were doing powerlifting, getting great numbers, great results. But then, of course, once you started taking the Weider supplements, even better results. It sounds like.
Well, what it came down to, in all honesty, is, like I say, when I had my old records, taking no products whatsoever. I was a farm boy out from Akron, Ohio, living out in Uniontown with the Amish and Mennonite, keen on sound nutrition. They believed in no pesticides, no, everything was pretty much organic and live cultures out there, to say. So basically, it was the eating that was the accomplishment. I said it contributed a lot to my strength level. Working and living out there with Amish Mennonite, eating clean food. My main goal back in the day when I got into powerlifting was basically, I was playing football. I wanted to be a pro football player, so I pretty much focused my training around that activity to be a pro football player. That's where I started my power training and what have you. And basically keyed on live cultures and my food source. Of course, it wasn't that I signed with Joe when we were nutrition where I started taking my world records. I already had my world records prior to my signing, but it did help, of course.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say, I've heard great things about that company and just the impact that it's had on athletes. So, that's one of those things that, can make a difference. But you're right. I mean, you had already done a lot of those great things prior to that. But, I'm sure that that's never a bad thing, having a company like that backing you.
Oh, no. I was with Joe for 17 years, since a teenager all the way till he sold the publications to David Pecker in 2002. And when he sold, that's the day I retired from the bodybuilding from my FPP.
So what was the transition like, going from Ohio to Florida?
Not much of a transition, really. I mean, of course, the weather's still nicer. Like, I lived in all through the United States. That's what I consider Akron, Ohio was. You have nothing to do. You got 8 months of freaking overcast and snow, and you really had no sunshine. So basically, I went to a state that had pretty much sunshine every day, and it was like summer 24/7. So it was a different change, but it was good for my training and what have you, overall. So I just basically moved to Florida. Like I say, it's just a nice change to get away.
When you were in Ohio, you ended up going to the University of, Ohio State University. Were there any considerations playing football for them?
Yeah, like I said, I had an Ohio State contract to play for Ohio State. Of course, I had a scholarship. I ended up not taking my scholarship. Reason for is that when I was 18 years old, getting ready to college, that's why I signed my contract with Joe moving out for Florida to Woodland Hills, California for a period of time. Joe was telling me, you play football, you're going to end up getting hurt, and your career's going to be over, and, they think to look for, da-da-da-da-da. Here, when you do bodybuilding, you're just training at your own leisure, you have a great contract, I said, well, put your money where your mouth is, He signed me up for a 4-year, 6-figure contract, and I say no. So, and when you're a teenager and you're looking at over $100,000 a year, it's kind of hard, because you're used to making 8 to 12,000 a year flipping pizzas at the local, pizza shop. And then you get hit with something like that. I'm just a young Buckeye from Ohio, trying to make it, hitting the sports, and getting offered a contract like that to be a weird boy. I couldn't resist. So I moved up to Woodland Hills, California, signed my contract. But that first year, bought my own house at 19 years old, right here in Clearwater, Florida, and I'm still in the same house, right on Tampa Bay, right on the water.
Wow, that sounds awesome. Yeah,
right. So I made a great move. Sometimes I look back. I would love to went back to Ohio State and played, but it is what it is. Sometimes I kick myself in the ass. I would love to went, and got my degree and played for Ohio State, but again, my position was fullback, halfback. And, Joe's kind of right. After a couple seasons of that, your knees are pretty much shot. It needs to be done for life. So that's a Russian leg you're taking, and plus you're not getting paid for it. So there's a chance, So that really was the big, the clincher when they offered me that contract.
So tell me about your arm wrestling days.
Well, arm wrestling was a fluke. I mean, back in the I believe it was 96, I was offered by Dan Carr, who was the Gladiators. One of the Gladiators out in Orlando. It said they had a World Arm Wrestling Championship. He said, I'd like to have you attend if you want to. I'm like, heck, I'm used to arm wrestling. Only arm wrestling I do is the local pub here and there for 10 bar tabs, So, make a long story short, I went up there, went against 4 guys. I won 3, lost 1, and then won 3 more and went to the championships and ended up beating a guy over 300 pounds for the World Arm Wrestling Championship and won $17,000 that night. Nice. And that was it. And that was in Orlando, Florida, right at the Disney Sports Complex. It was, I think it was held by, I don't know, the Panama Jack, something like that.
So the important question is, during the arm wrestling, did you have to turn your hat around backwards?
Well, I probably would have, but I don't wear it, so,
Because I've been told that is a huge part of the arm wrestling thing. Yeah, a forward-facing hat, it just makes it difficult to arm wrestle.
Right.
The nice thing is you won so many titles, for Mr. America and all the championships in Florida. What was the most rewarding to you?
In all honesty, it wasn't the titles at all that were rewarding. It wasn't the world records. It wasn't the USA, America. It wasn't the being Olympia or Arnold Classic. Where I thought my greatest basically was the 86 covers that I was able to get. And, through my career, I was able to land 86 covers on Muscle Fitness, from Muscle Fitness to Flex to Ironman to Muscle Mag and then they're recopied in every foreign state, and I have a copy of every one of them. So, in all honesty, the thing that I really liked the best was that publicity of being on the covers, and then open up the magazine, you got a 5 or 6 page spread on diet and training and nutrition. That's where my passion lies. So, I enjoy talking nutrition and talking about diet and training, and I work with Arthur Jones and Elton Garton and Fred Hatfield and Dr. Mark Pasquale, and I enjoyed sharing my knowledge and what worked for me in my powerlifting and my training that enabled me to take these records. So that's where my passion, that's where my best accomplishment was basically those covers and articles.
What do you feel the biggest thing people are doing wrong nowadays with their diet?
You mean in the bodybuilding industry?
Well, in general and specifically in the bodybuilding industry.
Well, I don't think, in general, what people are doing wrong, I don't think anybody's doing wrong. Everybody knows diet and nutrition is basically eating clean and basically timing your meals and protein levels with that or your 2-hour window and just trying to map everything out and what your body needs and developing your dieting protocol for what your body's needs are, calories in, calories out. If you're not doing shit all day, of course you don't want to eat all day. So you basically, it's just a rule of thumb is just, trying to calculate your caloric intake. So I don't think anybody's really doing things wrong today in dieting. I think people know, it's not reinventing the wheel, or it's not rocket science, it's eating clean and finding out what your body, your body's needs are compared to your work activity, and like you say, calories in, calories out. So, I don't see anything wrong. That I know of, I don't see anything doing anything wrong with their dieting per se. Everybody knows how to diet, it's just doing it. Remember, the only thing I hate about the bodybuilding sport is it's not diet and nutrition anymore, it's chemistry. And that's where the sport is really suffered. It's now, you used to have 220-pound bodybuilders. Now you got to be 300 pounds. And trust me, it ain't from diet and nutrition.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, that's what I was going for, is that, shooting the general public nowadays, just not eating right or eating clean. And like you were saying with the bodybuilders, putting all those extra things into the body as opposed to eating healthy. Like, for example, around here in where I live in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, we have this really nice restaurant. It's called Core Life. And everything they sell there is just, you go through, you pick out a grain, you pick out a green, and you pick out a couple other vegetables, and it's really nice and clean because they basically just put it into a soup or put it into a salad. And unfortunately, people are choosing the fast food places where it's all fried and that kind of thing. So, yeah, just wanted to get your opinion on those kind of things that people can improve.
Right. Like I say, it's good to access that kind of stuff with restaurants that you can actually eat clean and take out your meals like that, But, back to the question in the bodybuilding, like you say, it gets to a point to where, if we're getting to the Mr. and Mrs. Jones diet, the average person dieting, to sports dieting, like especially bodybuilding, of course, it's not where, you pick out your grains and your greens and your protein choice. No, you're competing as a pro level athlete. It's like, how much IGF-1, insulin, and growth hormone ratio are you going to use and how often you're going to use it. That's where it comes down to. And what really sucks about what the sport is today is, with the drug protocol and the scientific approach that they're taking with the use of all these drugs, they can get away with eating chocolate cake all day because their metabolism is going so fast. They're injecting so much insulin, they have to keep their caloric intake so freaking high or they'll get to burning that muscle. But that's how they're able to put on this mass to be close to 300 pounds.
Oh, wow.
The only thing bad about it right now, actually, you look at receptors. Insulin is the most highest anabolic is insulin. And the only thing bad about insulin, of course, you keep using it, you're going to be a diabetic. But when you use insulin, it opens up that receptors to absorb more nutrients. So an average person can take in 20 grams of protein. If you add a little insulin with your meals and stuff, you can take 40 to 60 grams and put it to use by the use of insulin. And that's why these guys are now getting twice the size they used to be. I remember, some athletes, I can mention the names, they were on the Olympia stage back in 1990, and then they got on that protocol, the instant growth hormone, come back 40 to 50 pounds heavier the next year, and that's no shit the next year.
Oh, wow.
And everybody knew what they were doing, but is that what you want to do? The only bad downfall of that, of course, is, I call it that cycle. If you're doing it, I call it dead man walking. You're getting intestinal growth, heart growth. You're limiting your time. Is it worth it? Absolutely not. That's why you asked me the question, what was my most important, valuable, things in my career that my achievement-wise was the covers. Because if you look at my covers, it was an achievable physique. I've got sexy back. It looked good. It was achievable, and people looked at it as a work of art, not as a freak show. It wasn't Welcome to the Circus or the Unleashing of Kong. It was something that was aesthetically pleasing to the naked eye. And that was my goal. And that's why I got so many covers, because I use my body and I train it as a work of art, not being a local freak show. They have arms and beards on my head, not the norm. This is where the sport is today. And like I said, if you look nowadays, it's sad. It really is sad, to see where the sport is going. And then you can't really blame the athletes if the judges are allowing it. And, back in the day when we competed in the 90s with LeBron and Haney, Barry DeMay, and Bob Parrish, and the guys with aesthetically flowing physiques, they had a really small waist. Went to today, where if you look at the lineup, and this is nothing new, they all look pregnant. They all have their guts are blowing out, hanging over their posing suits. And if your gut hung over your posing suit back in the day when I competed, you didn't get called out. Nowadays, you don't get called out unless your gut hangs over your posing suit, and that's crazy. It's absurd. But it's sad, but that's where we're at. And like I say again, it's not the athlete's fault. If the judges are rewarding $200,000 to $300,000 prize money to the winner of somebody that's all jacked up on the GH and the instant and shooting their synthol in their arms or whatever, and they're this freak, and they're awarding that, that's what everybody's going to try and look like. And that's why the protocol is where it is today. And it's the judge's fault. They should have nipped it in the ass a long time ago instead of letting it get to where it is today. And you know why? You don't see these publications now by the register, and it's always hid. You don't see it as marketable and as prominent as it used to be. Because it really came down to a freak show today instead of a work of art, and something that was really accepted and looked up to. Right now, downgraded, being a bunch of guys on steroids.
As a work of art, have you posed for like any paintings or any statues or anything like that?
I got 3 statues in my house. I didn't really pose for them. They used it off of my photos and stuff. I did do a 3D imaging for one of my statues back, I think it was like 2002, the end of my career. They had a 3D thing. You stood on this base and it spun around and it actually shot you in 3D. It spun around, and I actually got a statue of that. And I was actually in the back of the pillar. And I have that name. You can probably see that photo on my site.
Yeah.
But that was a really cool shot. I have that statue. So yeah, I do got 2 statues.
Oh, nice. So, what material did they end up making them out of?
They used I don't know. This is like a. I don't know what it is exactly. It's hard as like freaking cast. It's not heavy like concrete. It's like a resin, like a synthetic pollen resin.
Oh, nice.
And I tell you, dude, I've knocked this thing off the shelf so many times, and it hasn't broken yet. I didn't have to super glue anything, so whatever it's made out of, it's indestructible.
That's great to hear. Yeah, I mean I know what you mean, because you're right. Nowadays, it just seems overdone, where it should be more of a natural thing. It should be about the work and the dedication to the craft, as opposed to taking those other things.
Right, and that's where you are today. And you got to the point that that's what people expect to see when they go to the Olympia and Arnold Classic. They want to see a freak show. They want to see the guy that has arms bigger than their head and muscle where it doesn't belong. But the only sad thing is that they don't have the athlete's health and interest. They don't have the athlete's interest at hand of their life and their longevity. They don't care. They just want to have their hour of pleasing to watch this guy do a freaky posing session on stage to pay to come see. At the end of the day, they can get 2 shits to be passed away tomorrow. In all honesty, I hate to say that, but a lot of it's true. Mm-hmm. And if you ask the majority of the people, guys, would you like to look like that? And it's absolutely not. And if you ask 99% of the women, would you like to have a boyfriend or a man like that? Absolutely not. It's good to see for a show, but come on, it's overkill. It's like there's no sex appeal here. Heck, most of these guys take 10 steps, they're out of breath. I guarantee they can't even wipe their own ass. So, is that something you want? I don't think so.
I agree with you. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, shoot, you want to be able to transition it to everyday life.
Yeah, it's just where it got to be. It's like, my thing is, I hate to downgrade the sport because of my love and passion all my life, but it is what it is. And, today, it all reminds me of the unleashing of Kong, man. They open up the freaking curtain, you see this giant beast chained up. It's like, holy shit, is that guy huge, And that's what it reminds me of today. The unveiling of Kong. I don't know if you've ever seen the Kong movie, but that's what it reminded me of. People are like, awe to see this freak, the size,
Mm-hmm.
And it's unbelievable. And like I said, you can't compare yesterday's bodybuilding. But if you ask today, and I see it every day long on social media and Instagram and on any type of chat room or groups, what is the best era? Everybody says the old school, the 80s, the 90s were the best golden era of the sport where they really loved to watch. And I'm thank God I came from that era, and they all know our names from that. And what's funny is today is you don't know a lot of their names. And back in my day, when I turned pro, only 3 or 4 pros were getting a pro card a year. And now today, 2017, this year we had 379 pro cards handed out.
Wow.
Is that the shit or what? So you went from having a statue to being somebody to open up a Cracker Jack thing, and here you got a pro card. I mean, that's where the sport has won, and it's a disgrace because they're handing them out, just mean, just hand them out like anything, and that's not good.
Yeah,
It hurt the sport. And what it came down to, in all honesty, it's a monopolization. It's a money thing with the NPC and IFBB. It costs $300 a year to be an IFBB pro. So I give out more pro cards, and guess how much money we're making a year when we're giving out 390 pro cards a year. So there you go. Enough said. It became a monopolization of the money thing. Scandal. That's all it's been like.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like kind of like how baseball was there for a while. In the 70s
Right.
and 80s, it was more about the, getting on base, the hitting and stuff. And then, of course, the McGuire Sosa era where everyone was getting jacked, Bonds, that kind of thing. And, they came out to see the big home runs where it's not really about the sport of it. It's more about just like you said, the freak show aspect.
Right.
So tell us about your time with the WBF.
The WBF. The WBF was like, I think, one of the best times of my life, in all honesty. It was ran by Vince McMahon. He picked out, the top, in his book, the top 10 athletes they actually had, and signed us all up. And, he'd make it a show, and that's basically what he did, showmanship. But we all left had great contracts. We all had way over 6-figure contracts, 2-year, deals, and we wanted to take bodybuilding to a new level, make it more theatrical, entertaining, make it more family, oriented, where people come actually see us as images, as characters. I was Major Guns, Eddie Robinson. You had Jet Yen, Tony Pearson. You had the Executioner, Johnny Morant. I mean, it was really cool, how we had it all set up. And it would have been really good. It could have been a real good thing. But like I said, a lot of controversy went down, and a lot of fighting, a lot of litigation between the IFBB and the WBF. And it got to the point where, it started interfering with Vince McMahon of the WWE at the time was wrestling. And, that's his pet peeve. So it got to the point where he just didn't want any more of this litigation going on and tarnishing the wrestling and harming it. So he folded it out. He just basically killed it.
Was there ever any talks about him trying to sign you up for the WWF?
I did try out. I went to school for while I was there. I did go to wrestling school. I was with the Bushwhackers and the Nasty Boys here in Clearwater. I did some training, did some matches, and you know what? That is not for me. I want to tell you something. They say this shit is fake. I'm going to tell you something. I had Brian Knobs at 360 pounds jump off the freaking rope, throwing the man on that mat, even though he missed me, put his knee 5 inches from my head. His fat ass landed on me, and I tell you what, I can walk for 3 days. And this is the stuff they do every night, and there's no way. There's no way I was going to do that. And what was bad is, the contract they had, you're lucky to get home a weekend every month, and the traveling was horrendous. I just had a baby girl at the time and got married, and it just wasn't the life I was going to do. And the risk, not seeing my child being raised and away from my wife, because I'm a homebody, I'm a father, and, it's not the life for me. If I was a single dude, I probably would have known, but it just wasn't in the cards for me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The life that they live, the travel,
it's crazy.
Yeah, is intense. And like you said, people think it's fake, but yeah, it's definitely not fake. It's scripted, and there's a huge difference between fake and scripted.
I trained with Gravy Savage here, in Clearwater, and I trained with him for about 5 years, and he'd come back on the weekend, he had there, man, his tongue be bit in half with stitches in it from accidentally biting it, and the bumps and bruises, it's crazy. And Gary Williams, Hulk Hogan, is right here in Clearwater also. Oh, come on. 4 hip replacements, his back's all fused up. The guy's hurting, man. Is it worth it? Hey, yeah. Household name, made a lot of money, but, hey, you paid for it. It's a lot of injuries these guys are, dealing with. And, it's like I say, it goes with the sport.
I know what you mean. Yeah, if you could, be guaranteed to be a Terry or a Hogan or a Savage, it's, it's worth it. But for the other guys, because there's so many ones that, don't get that level of fame, but still go through that level of pain and difficulty. So yeah, I know what you mean. So you definitely made the right choice by, focusing on your sport of choice and being able to just build the sport of bodybuilding.
That's it. Yeah, that was it.
So, what are you up to nowadays?
Right now, I'm a trainer. I do a lot of training. I train some guys for the Phillies here. I do a lot of online diet and training stuff online. I'm still helping the athletes out, pro athletes compete. That's pretty much it. I was lucky enough to retire at 35, and I just do this as a hobby now, and that's my passion is diet and nutrition. And I basically like giving back. People that want to be athletes. I train a lot of football players. I do a lot of seminars. I train a lot of the kids here it's a high school here that their goal is to be a pro football player. And I give them the fundamentals of training and diet and how to reach their goals and how to go about it. And that's pretty much what I do. And I enjoy it. It's my passion. To help other athletes become better athletes.
So, if somebody's wanting to get in touch with you and get training from you, what website? What do you recommend? How do they do that?
They can contact me, and it's really easy to get a hold of, and it's quite simple. All you got to do is Google Eddie Robinson, make sure you get the right one. I'm the white one. I'm not. There's only a big athlete, Eddie Robinson's 1 and 2 here, but basically through my Facebook and social media and stuff, I'm easy to contact. Just Google me on Facebook, inbox me. I'm open to the public, so anybody can get in there and inbox me for anything they need, any type of diet and training and what have you.
Hey, on the bright side, you're not the only famous bodybuilder that gets confused with a football guy, I'm pretty sure. Because people keep thinking that the fellow came out of bodybuilding retirement to play for the Dolphins, Jay Cutler, and I'm like going, no, that's a different Jay Cutler.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so it's just one of them odd things. So, like you were saying, you've been doing the coaching, the training, that kind of thing. Just enjoying life. It sounds great.
Pretty much, yeah. I live here in the Gulf of Mexico, so, the thing is I invest in my son, and I got him playing football. He's a fullback here for Countryside High School. And, like I said, I go to practice here at 3:30 till 6 o'clock here 5 days a week. So I'll be out there in the field today, and that's what I'm doing after work. And then the other day, I'm in the gym training people, or I'm at home on the computer writing up diets and doing Skyping people, working on posing routines and just seeing how they look to dial them in for the next show, whether it's on stage or on the field.
Excellent. Any chance we're going to see you in March up in Columbus?
Nope, I'm not going to go up there. I won't be up there. I got other things to do. I really don't. I don't really head up to the conventions anymore. It's just you've been burnt out all these years and stuff. It's just I get more just watching the Facebook threads. I get more of the insight on everything that's happening than actually being there. In all honesty.
I know what
so
you mean.
No, I'm not going to be up there. If I was endorsing a line or something like that, something to promote, I'd definitely be up there. But at this time, I'm not promoting any health food or nutritional companies or anything.
Excellent. Well, Eddie, we greatly appreciate you taking your time and coming on to the show. It's been very informative, and like you said, the fans just Google you. They're able to reach out, get some training, get some tips from you, and just sounds like a great life.
You got it, man. Living the dream here in St. Harbor, Florida, on Tampa Bay. So, hey, I appreciate your time. Appreciate you getting a hold of me for this interview, and it was a great pleasure to talk to you and meet you.
My pleasure, buddy. Have a good one.